Jeremy from OpticHouse.com. So, I'm working on the last of the Hello Kitty series. These are the final inks for the revised versions that look more like Hello Kitty art per the request of the commissioner. But Hello Kitty isn't what's really on my mind right now. And in fact, I wasn't even sure if I should record a video right now because I'm in kind of a shitty mood. Now, nothing particularly bad has happened. In fact, there's a lot of good things that have happened lately. My wife and I, we recently adopted 2 rescue kittens. We named them Kachu and Khaleesi, as we're big Terry Moore fans and fans of Game of Thrones. So, why am I in a shitty mood? Very simply, it's because I have not had a lot of time to draw lately. Barring these pieces that have been recorded for drawing videos, for a variety of reasons that, it's no point really me going into, I have not been able to spend a lot of time drawing lately. I've had a real crunch in my spare time, and I know myself well enough to know that if I'm not able to draw and spend a consistent amount of time drawing every week, if not every day, I end up kind of drained and moody and unfocused, just generally unfulfilled. It's the temperament of the artist. We have this constant drive to do this one thing, which is to create all the time. And when we're not able to do it, then it gets, we get a little moody about it. Oddly enough, we've only had the kittens for a couple of weeks, and yet Kachu knows her name well enough that she actually heard me say her name and came into the studio while I was working and started clawing at the door, so I just let her in. So you may hear weird cat sounds in the background. Yeah, actually, it is hard to be grumpy when you've got a cute kitten pawing at you. But anyway, drawing on a regular basis. Usually, I spend my lunch breaks during work either redrawing bad pieces from my weekly figure drawing class or studying from a general list of areas that I'm always actively working to improve on. On that list, anatomy in general, animals, lighting, composition, fabric and clothing, environments, studying the works of the old masters, and just generally working my way through all the instructional art books I have piling up, but never really sat down and spent a lot of time working on. In the evenings, that's when I get down to business in terms of working on my comic book Morning Star or drawing illustrations for new art prints. When I'm getting stuff done, I feel more productive. I feel better about myself. I feel focused. I feel energized. When I'm not, I feel kind of blah. And I think that's one of the ways that I know that making art is the right thing for me, doing art. It's what gives me energy, keeps me focused. It's what gets me excited to get out of bed every day. And I was thinking about, there's this song by the band Mastodon called The Sparrow. And the lyrics are just one simple line repeated over and over again. The line is, "Pursue happiness with diligence." For me, the inverse is also true. I try to pursue diligence with happiness. And there's a certain amount of, I don't know if it's OCD or type A personality, but I'm one of those people for whom being productive and feeling like I'm making movements closer to my goals, whatever those goals may be, it's exciting to me. It's pleasing to me. And I can definitely say that lately, it's not like I feel like I've had a step backwards, but the only art time I really have had has been in my weekly figure drawing class. And oddly enough, my weekly figure drawing class just started up again because I had a break for a couple of weeks. So really, I had a period where I was just not getting anything done except for the occasional doodle and sketch while I was waiting for files to save. And, there's always times when artwork is catch as catch can. But I think I really definitely notice it in my mood. I tend to be shorter with people, short-tempered. And I'm actually curious with other people out there how making art or not making art affects you emotionally. Are you someone who gets depressed if you don't make art? Do you get angry? Do you get moody? I know for some people are occasionally fight a creative block, writer's block, artist block. I can see how writer's block could happen because writing is one of those things where there's times when even when you're doing it, it can make you very grumpy. Fortunately, that's the beauty of being a writer artist is that when I am having a hard time on the art side and things really aren't, I mean, when I'm having a hard time with it on the writing side, I can just go and sit down and draw for a little while. In fact, I have more frequently started to actively use art as a tool to break myself out of a writing funk, or when I'm having trouble, working on writing a piece, a scene, or an outline, what have you. Just using art to put my mind in a different mental headspace, or sometimes to actively sketch out the problems as opposed to trying to write them out. Because for some reason, just sitting there and thinking in pictures instead of thinking in words just opens my mind up to different creative avenues. It relaxes my brain. And as most people, I think a lot of people would agree that having a relaxed brain is key and essential to most creative endeavors of all type. But yes, overall, I need to get back to my diligence. I've slowly slipped away from it lately, and I think I need to reboot myself, get myself back on track. I think every creative person goes through that one time or another. There's no shame in it. You have to be aware of it. There's times you definitely do need to just pull yourself away and relax. But right now, I want to get back in the game. That's it for now. Check out my website, optichouse.com. If you enjoy these videos, please share them. Also, sign up for my weekly newsletter to get a free digital download and see what else I'm working on. Go be creative.